flight attendant. On behalf of Captain Martin and the entire crew of Global Education, welcome aboard to American Air Flight. Welcome aboard to American Airlines Flight 726, non-stop service from United States to England, and then continuing on to South Korea, China, and finally returning back to the U.S. with a few detours in between. Our flight time will be roughly 8 weeks. At this time, make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their upright position. If you haven't already done so, please stow your Schooling Around the World textbook underneath the seat in front of you or in an overhead bin. Also, make sure your seat is correctly fastened, and we advise you that as of this moment, any electronic equipment must be turned off. Thank you and enjoy your flight.
Sure, I love exploring and traveling to new countries, but what I like most is returning back home. Any person who has traveled outside the U.S. understands that upon the return, not only are you kissing the ground, but you are not the same person who left. You come back home with a suitcase filled with souvenirs, pictures, and knowledge. Even though people will not be able to understand your journey. Yeah, no matter how HD your videos are, not only do you have jet lag, but you have also changed. Even though we might not have left our computer seats, the members of Cohort 6 have done an extensive amount of traveling in the past 8 weeks. Returning back home armed with the knowledge of different countries and different education systems, well, hopefully we'll use the knowledge to try to make the U.S.'s education system a little bit better. Boy, oh boy, I can't wait to tell you about our journey. In our first layover in England, we got to explore our previous motherland. The most interesting souvenir that I gathered from England's education system was their implementation of the new computing curriculum. Over there, it's all about ICT, or Information Communications Technology. It is not only how to work a computer, but also they get taught how to program it for yourself in order to make it work for you. I wonder how the U.S. can incorporate a new curriculum like England's. Unfortunately, England needs to learn from the U.S. that every child deserves an education and that kicking students out of classes due to gangs or to special needs does not solve any issue but really adds to it. Next, we had a quick layover in Singapore. Oh, what a small but awesome education system. It frequently tops ranking in world education. Imagine if the U.S. learned to enact similar teaching strategies. Singapore provides 4-year teaching education program for free, while also providing payment for pre-service teachers while in training. They only recruit the top 1/3 of high school graduates. There's also no teacher shortage, and master teachers act as mentors for beginners. Perhaps we could have less turnover rates in the U.S. if we could adopt Singapore's teacher program. We spent 2 weeks in South Korea, and I love the educational philosophies of this country. It includes high degree of independence, contribute to the development of the nation's democracy, and well-being of a human. Education goal is to foster this type of person that is also consistent with the Hong Ik philosophy. 12 hours a day for schooling might be a bit extreme, but the importance and value that South Korea places on schooling cannot be denied. I would take back the philosophy that South Korea instills in their students, teachers, families, and cultures back with me to the United States. Our next journey took us to China, where they have created world-class universities. China recognizes that they must invest in research infrastructure for their professionals. Professors engage in research and publish the results, and the acceptance rate is greater than any % in higher university. We also made a few other stops that included Germany, Turkey, Japan, Finland, Mexico, France, Italy, Costa Rica, and even Palestine. And after all that traveling, I'm glad to finally return home. After finally arriving, here are some things I hope that we change in the US after our long journey. Definitely a push in multicultural education. From math to science and social studies and foreign languages, we can really learn from our diverse population and include their histories as much as we can in our classrooms. Second of all, the United States must recognize that it is not an island by itself, but instead can learn from all these other countries in the world, because they're obviously doing something right, and they think we're doing something right sometimes. So how about we all be all right in the terms of education? As for the teachers, I would like them to become more researchers, and also for our culture to take education more seriously. This would ideally result in an increase of salaries for teachers, as well as respect and equal funding for students of low socioeconomic status. Changes in the curriculum could be like from England, in which we can have a computer/programming curriculum in which students begin at an early age and learn and develop these skills all throughout their education. And of course, this might result in longer school days, perhaps 10 hours. And also too, I like to see different forms of assessment instead of multiple choice tests, and let creativity roam in the classroom instead of standard-based education. Well, that's it. I certainly had a great journey, but it's so good to be back home now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pittsburgh International Airport. Local time is 6:32 p.m. and the temperature is a balmy 32 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until Captain Martin turns off the fasten seatbelt sign. This will indicate that we have parked at the gate and that it is safe for you to move about. On behalf of American Airlines Flight 726 and the entire crew, I would like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice evening.